Míle Alaska and Corlin. I'd like to thank my colleagues, Deputy Sean Canny and Verona Murphy, for co-signing this bill as well. In the last year, the issue of pet theft has come into sharp focus for many families around the country. COVID lockdowns has seen many people welcome new pets into their families, and this has seen the price of pets increase radically over that period of time. In my own family, we have a dog called Rua. He's a fantastic dog. He's a great temperament. He's a cross between a golden retriever and a red setter. And we bought him for €50 13 years ago. The same breed of dog is now advertised on the internet for €1,500. So there's a radical increase in the price of pets across the country. This is driving a very lucrative market, and a market for which pet thieves are unfortunately tapping into. Professional gangs are making big money from this particular market. And we've seen many stories circulate around the country of thieves, going to people's houses, marking the concrete outside of gates with chalk, or tying strings to gates during the day, and then coming back at night time and in the cover of darkness stealing these particular pets. We've also heard a recent story of Gardaí fined 32 stolen dogs worth over €150,000 in Baldoyle. And this shows quite obviously that there's a viable theft market there for criminal enterprises across the country. Many of the stolen dogs in that particular crime were pregnant dogs, so the criminal gangs made extra profits with regards to the pups to maximise their money at the end of that. Many pups are sold online, many pups are sold for cash, and this makes the Garda investigation even more difficult. And we've seen many credible reports of stolen pets quickly brought onto ferries and brought to Britain, where they're sold as well. I've carried out a good bit of research over this particular criminal market over the last number of years, and it's incredible the figures that are there. So in the last 5 years, 1,000 incidents of animal theft have been reported to Gardaí across the country. And this is mainly canine, bovine, ovine and equine, seeing the highest rates. And these are only the reported thefts. Many families who had their pets stolen don't report these thefts to the Gardaí. And many families sometimes feel that their pets simply are lost or disappear as a result of travel, etc. And these obviously don't get reported into those particular figures as well. So whatever figures we have with regards to reported thefts, they are below the reality, and the reality is far higher. In 2020, we saw the number of reported thefts increase by 60% in the state. And this is despite the fact that the country was hardly out of lockdown and was highly restricted for most of last year. 196 instances of animal theft reported to Gardaí. It's interestingly that only 40 of these actually translated into charges or summonses. So that means for every 5 incidences of animal theft, only 1 will correlate to a charge at the end of the day. I have no doubt the Gardaí are doing the best that they can with regards to these particular thefts, but it's time that the legislators of this country actually stepped up to the plate and ensured that the legislation reflected the reality of the ground for many people across the country. I'm glad to say that the DSPCA and the Dogs Trust, who are themselves on a daily basis working with animals who have been stolen, they support the Aintu bill here, and they believe that politicians also should get behind this bill so that this bill is enacted as soon as possible. And so for this reason, we are introducing the Criminal Justice Theft and Fraud Offences Amendment Pets Bill 2020. And the purpose of this bill, the heart of this bill, is to create a mandatory minimum sentence for theft. A theft of an animal or a theft of a pet is not the same as the theft of an inanimate object from someone's house. So you could steal a phone or a laptop or a stereo, roughly the same cost as a family pet, but the penalty should not be the same thing. For a cat or a dog can be a member of someone's family. It can be central to someone's family. And I know when you lose a family pet, you can grieve over that pet because they're so important to yourselves. So we believe that when people break the law in this area, there should be a mandatory minimum sentence of 10 months prison. And I would urge other TDs to get behind this bill and to get it through the Dáil as soon as we can. Gur míle mágat, Alaska and Corlia.